But now in 2024, we want to make you a successful coach. That's what it's all about. Yes, help yourself, help your family, but now let's help others. How can you get out there and make a difference in their life as well? It's going to be an exciting year for everybody. But remember, next year starts with planning today. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's great to have you here on this Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. This is episode 282. So if you'd like to check out the 3 big takeaways from today's show, head on over to ihp.coach/282. Today I want to share with you somewhat of a story, but also a strategy heading into your next year. Now, depending on whenever you're listening to this show, it could also be heading into your next quarter. And the reason why I share this with you is that you need to plan your next year now. So when this show comes out in mid-November or so, you need to make sure that your January is already locked in. Now, I'm going to share some details behind that, exactly what I've been doing for years, but also I want you to look at it as, let's say it's February right now. Well, you need to plan what does then April 1st look like? What does it look like going into that second quarter of the year? And the reason why I mentioned this to you is that most plans take 6 to 12 weeks to implement. I know that seems like an enormous amount of time, especially for someone like me who's not always the most patient individual. But the truth is that whatever you're looking to put out there into the world, if it's going to be good quality, it's going to be great, that it's going to help people to the highest degree possible. And I know there's many iterations, meaning like the first thing you put out there isn't going to be as great as it will be 5 years from now, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get started. We all need to get started, right? When we put out our app about a year and a half ago, we wanted it to be the best. We tried to make it the best. It wasn't necessarily the best, but we would not have gotten to the variation and the iteration that we're at right now, which is absolutely phenomenal, that we use with our practitioners, that we use with thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people around the world. So what I want to share with you is that we'll always better our best, but we need to have a plan at least to get that first one out of the gates. Let me give you a couple examples. So when I first started my, let's even say at-home nutrition and training based company way back in the day, 2002, somewhere around there, 2003 at the latest. So what I would do though, is I would have all of my rack cards that I would put on neighborhood doors, and I would have my the door hangers, and then I would have my rack cards that I would put in different cafes and Whole Foods back in the day, all those different things. Although back then it was like called Bread and Circus or something like that. And so what I wanted to do though, is I needed to have a plan going into that new year. So I needed to work on the design of those rack cards, of those door hangers 2 months in advance, because I'd hire a designer or I'd try to do it myself to save money. And I would get the template, and then I would submit them to a rack card based company, and then those would be printed, and I would get them in like a week or two. So that might be mid-December or so. So everything had to be planned. If it took 2 weeks for design, okay, I've got that. And then it takes a week or so to submit, go back and forth with the proof, because they send you a proof. Great. And then after that, maybe 2 weeks to ship. So that's 4 weeks. So I knew that by mid-November, I needed to start that process to get it by mid-December, because nothing really ships and arrives during that Christmas to New Year's based week. It's just much slower shipping wise, and you're competing with all the other things that are being shipped in times of for Christmas or Hanukkah. And so what I wanted to make sure is that I had them in my hands, and then eventually for my team, when I had a team in the future, in their hands, so that we could get out there the day after New Year's and start putting those up on local neighborhood homes for door hangers, or we might put those all around in cafes and whatever it might be for the rack cards. That's just one example. But I would do the same with websites. So if I was looking to launch a new program, I would have to write up all the copy. I would have to get the photos. I would then have to hire the web designer or programmer. And all of that took about 4 to 6 weeks. Like that's the minimum. And so why do I say then 6 to 12 weeks? Well, there's a planning period, right? So there's a period of, you've probably been thinking about it in your mind right now. You might've been journaling it. You might've been taking notes. A lot of thought goes behind it. And that might take 4 weeks or 6 weeks to really hash out the plan as to how you want it to look. Okay, well, if that's 4 to 6 weeks, and then the process to get it out there in the world is 4 to 6 weeks, you can just see that these things take 2 to 3 months. And so I don't want you to get super frustrated. Sometimes I do, you want to get it out there faster, but to do good quality work, it takes a minimum that I've seen of about 6 weeks to get it out there. We've got some amazing changes going on inside of IHP, some big things happening, always trying to improve our community. And when I look at the new year, well, what's going to be new? What's going to be launching? The return of business mentorship experience, helping IHPs and other health coaches to take their career to the next level, to really create a career that they love, that they want to do, whether it's part-time or full-time. We take them from wherever they're at, beginning stages, to all the way through to having a practice in 6 months, like a legitimate practice working with clients. So that's really exciting. But that doesn't start January 1st, right? It starts actually way back in October. So we plan this 12 weeks out. Okay, this is what the new updates to the curriculum is going to look like. These are what the new handouts will look like. This is the workshop dates. Like all of that gets planned out. The faculty, any add-on experts that we want. The same goes for IHP Mastery. That launches in January too. So we have new faculty this year for IHP Mastery, which is pretty amazing, right? So we're always looking to say, what can we put out into the world? How can we make it great for our community? And you're doing the same for your clients. And I just don't think that that's ever going to change, because it also keeps you super excited and engaged. So you're excited to say, what is my next quarter going to look like? And it just so happens that January 1st is around the corner, and that's our next quarter. That's the start to the new year. And you can change at any point in any day in your life, right? No doubt about it, any time during the year. But there's something special about the new year. The new year, we get to wipe this slate clean, for lack of a better analogy. You get to start fresh to a degree, or you get to start anew. You put more of your new work out there. And that's what I'm looking to do. No doubt you are too, but you have to start the planning process. So for us, the planning process was all of October. Okay, we knew what we wanted to do, but we planned that out with faculty, with times, with all the recordings, what it was going to look like, who's going to do what modules. And then November is going to be the launch to the community, letting people know about it. But what does that take? Well, revamp of the website, right? Revamp of the web pages. All of that needs to be out there. We need to plan workshop dates that will be in December to tell people more about it and to let them know all the benefits of IHP Mastery and/or IHP BME, the business mentorship experience. So all of these things just take a lot of planning. Now for you, it could be creating a new program. If we're in high performance health, maybe it's adding on a new high performance health anti-aging longevity part to your coaching services. Okay, what does that look like? What are you offering? Are you now bundling the BioAge Lab, right? The biological age lab test, which is unique to you and HPH, that you would then be able to offer in your packages. So your packages, let's say it's $490 a month for an anti-aging high performance health package for coaching, which offers 60-minute call every single month and a 1 weekly check-in to make sure you're on your program, answering questions, etc. Well, that's amazing. And maybe the first month includes that BioAge Lab as a $499 bonus or a $299 bonus, like however you want to look at it. Well, it's a huge bonus no matter what. And so you subtract that from your first month, yes, but on months 2 and months 3, you're making your $490. And so it's however you want to look at it, but that's a new service that many of you IHPs that became HPHs can highlight on your website. And you have the certification. We went through it. Many of you I know are still going through it now, but that's an amazing service to add. And there's right now in the beginning, there's not a whole lot of HPHs that are going to be doing this work. This is new anti-aging based work that people are looking for though right now. So what I say is you use this philosophy, but you use it in any part of your life. I even use it in the health part of my life, like every single quarter, right? I talk about the 12-week year. I'll be talking about that more in the Cabral concept. But for me, I run my labs at the end of November or early December because I want the results by the end of December so that I can implement the new plan for January. Now, not everybody has to do that, and I'm not saying that you should. I often have run those in March right around my birthday. And I love doing that too. But with HPH, I'm starting to get on a new cycle because I want to run them twice a year. And so this is just how I'm looking at things. Remember, you don't need to be a static being, right? You're a human being. You're moving through life. You're making different decisions. You're upgrading your thought. And I think that that's a great way to live. So I ask you right now, what are you doing right now to make it a successful 2024? Or a successful next quarter? That's what I'm asking you. How is next year or next quarter going to be different than this quarter? And you don't have to have that answer right now, but I want you to ask yourself, what more are you looking to be, do, and achieve, right? Because remember, you'll achieve whatever you want as long as you're willing to do the things that you need to do. But in order to do the things that you need to do, you need to become the person who does those things. So what I want from you is to reach your very best potential. And I know that that's what 2024 is going to be all about. Inside of IHP, 2024 is our year. Like more than ever, we said, okay, we've been around now for 5 years. About 5,000 people have entered Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Absolutely amazing. That's always been our goal. About 100 people per month. That's the max that we try so that we can foster this amazing community. Now we're getting together once a year. It's so great to see people. But now in 2024, we want to make you a successful coach. That's what it's all about. We want to make you a successful coach. Yes, help yourself, help your family, but now let's help others. How can you get out there and make a difference in their life as well? Whether it's 1 appointment a day, 1 appointment a week, or 10 to 20 appointments a week, your choice. We want to help you get there. Let us know how we can do that. It's going to be an exciting year for everybody. But remember, next year starts with planning today. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Many more to come. All of these podcasts are based on your questions and feedback. Feel free to leave them in the comments and we will create shows from those. Thanks so much, everybody. All those show notes from today, head on over to ihp.coach/282. And if you're not already a part of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, head on over, download the brochure, set up a complimentary, no obligations call with our admissions team. Take care.